Emergency. Queen's Quest arrived. Emergency. Queen's Quest arrived. Emergency. Queen's Quest
down to the queens.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, everybody inside and outside of the gender spectrum, and welcome back to Stardom Quest Gold, the best weekly Stardom and Marigold podcast anywhere in the world. I am, as always, Alex, and I am joined by Dylan. Hi, Dylan.
Let me tell you something, brother. I am excited to be here on this beautiful day, in this beautiful week. God has blessed us all with a week of life and salvation. Except for that one guy. But yeah, we're chilling, and I'm excited to talk about the Dream Star. We are joined by our illustrious guest and my co-host on the No Limit Wrestling Show, Xavier. How you doing, brother?
Oh, I am doing fantastic. I mean, a lot of people don't know I wasn't supposed to be on this. Then Hulk Hogan died, and they were like, "Hey, you want to do this thing?"
Black people are up this week,
Yeah.
man. Gotta get you on while we can.
Yeah. Alex, you're laughing a little too hard, buddy. I'm just saying.
That's an interesting thing to say.
Yeah.
Black people are up. We're on Stardom Quest Gold.
Yes, sir. The game has
Black
changed.
people are up, man.
We're not usually allowed on here outside of Dylan, bro. But I'm here to change the game.
You have there's a one half of a black person rule for Stardom Quest, except for this week, actually.
Oh man. Okay.
You've got one whole black person here.
That's a good bit. That was a great bit.
Oh my god. Right. Well, this is the Dream Star Grand Prix special. We did one for the 5-star earlier this week with Scott. Dylan and I did our normal episode, then that dropped on Wednesday, and we previewed the Shinjuku Face show. So this is going to focus entirely on the Marigold Dream Star Grand Prix. Over under on how many times somebody's going to call it the 5-star? I'm going with 3. Definitely.
I did it a lot today when I recorded, so
it's difficult.
I'm
all
definitely of us? Over 3
combined.
Okay, yeah, over.
Okay, that's fair.
It's probably gonna hit like 4.
Yeah,
just naturally.
Yeah, because it's gonna happen with the leagues. I'm gonna call it red block at some point, and
well, now they fucked it up because last year it was a red block and a gold block, but obviously they have names. But that was what it was. This year they're like, you know what, fuck it, we're going blue. We tried last year to be different. We ain't doing that no more.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Rossi's ideas just died after Archeon. He was like, I tried to be different. I'm done. It's over. I've played my hand. But yeah, let's just get into it. Let's start where we always start. Dylan, who are you projecting to win this tournament? Who would you say goes in as your favorite?
This is obviously, if you know me, you know I'm all about them hot takes. You know I'm all about subverting expectations. So this year, I believe Miko Aono is winning the tournament. I know. Nobody thinks she can do it. Nobody thinks that the only wrestler who seems like a plausible choice is going to win it, but she is, and she's gonna do it pretty handedly. If my math's correct, I don't see she's just gonna fucking beat everybody's ass. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, Xavier, what's your read on who you got as favorite?
I picked Aono at First Dream as we were watching, and she lost the belt. I said, yeah, she probably wins the Dream Star this year. But that's boring. So this year is Go Chica's year. It is her year. She's going all the way. World title, Ryokoku main. We going all the way. Ha!
I have to respect that. I have to respect the pick. I will also go with Miko Aono. I think as soon as she beat Nanai, it was just locked
Chiaki, you loser.
Okay.
Chiaki should win.
All right.
Go on.
No, I don't know. But yeah, as soon as she beat
Chiaki got a haircut.
Nanai,
Pick her.
she got rid of the haircut as well, like immediately.
Oh man.
But like they've started to call Iono basically the only woman who conquered Nanai, which is kind of badass. So
It's the woman who delivered the final blow to Nanai Takahashi.
thank you. You're on the ball. So I don't think you do that and then not have her win the tournament. And I think her and Utami is pretty heavily protected match that they can run to main event Sumo Hall. Pretty unpredictable as well because Iono could easily win or she could lose, and I think she'd be fine. Like she's won a lot already, so I think it's the best choice you can go with for the main event. So I would also lean towards Miku Iono.
Ooh,
Yeah,
hot take.
It feels like I don't know. I think it is interesting because we've done a lot of tournament previews, Alex, as you
Mm-hmm.
remember. Since I mean our first episode was a tournament preview of the 2025 star. I feel like anytime we have a consensus on who's going to win, they don't. So that is
Yeah.
the only reason why I have doubt in my mind that Miko Ano is winning. Otherwise, like just from a functional standpoint, she definitely makes the most sense. She is clearly the strongest wrestler. I think maybe, I mean, you know, if I'm looking for for things, maybe the only other reason why she might not do it is because I do expect her to win the red belt. This upcoming, you know, within the next like 6 months or so. I do expect her to beat Utami. So them giving her basically every accolade you can get within 2 years of the turn of the company starting might be seen as a poor choice. As a you know too fast choice. You know, you're risking
Mhm.
her leaving early and you know because she doesn't have much else to do. So that is always like a reason why you might not give her the 5 star, so that you know when she wins the red belt, loses it, she still has something to kind of like aim for and maybe get eventually. Um, but yeah, it just feels so obvious that she's winning here to me.
Yeah, and you know, I think the biggest thing is that there's no other possible challengers from the main event core because like Mariah already challenged. Mayu is probably preoccupied and she already has a belt. Um, you know, it's too soon for Koki. It's Mai Sakurai has the white belt. Like, unless you're going for somebody completely out of left field, I don't know is really the only credible Sumo Hall main event level wrestler you have. So unless
I
you
mean,
fake everybody out and do it at Corkin instead, there's no
no,
real option there.
that's not happening. But I will say, and I say this for every tournament that we cover, there is always the chance that the winner challenges for the white belt.
No.
They don't have a Cinderella here, so there is no like hot shot to the white belt naturally. Uh, so if and I'll talk about her a lot today. If Seri Yamaoka won, challenge for the white belt, or even Victoria Yuzuki won and challenge for the white belt, I don't think those are that out of the question. I think it's hard for them to win this tournament though than it is for them to challenge for the white belt. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
like it's not a matter of oh I can see them winning this tournament, but them challenging for the red belt doesn't really make much sense. It's more so that it's like I could see them challenging for the white belt and this being their ticket to doing that, but that's kind of hard to see them. It's hard to see either of them winning a final over Mirai or Miku. And those are the only like I don't know who else would go to the final in the Star League. So it's like that's where the struggle comes in for one of the younger wrestlers to potentially challenge for the white belt. Xavier, how are you realistically looking at it in terms of the field like that?
Buddy, whatever you were smoking during that time you didn't have internet, I want some because winning the Dream Star challenging for the white belt's crazy, dog. I'm sorry. Especially since we're only in the second year of this tournament to just nuke the idea of winning it and challenging for the red belt, especially with Sumo Hall on the horizon, is kind of crazy. But I understand what you're getting at, but
Brother, didn't like the third 5-star winner challenge for the tag? or something.
Yeah, but that didn't really matter back in the day, dog. So, you know, it really matters now. Like it's times have changed, if you will. Um, I understand your point about not wanting to just immediately go to Miku, because you're kind of putting in the idea that she doesn't have anything left once she wins their red belt, other than like the tags and all that. And to that, I say, instead of going freelance, she chose to just chill and act West Girls and not really like have anything to aim for until they actually got a belt. So like I don't really foresee that being an issue. I mean, the only reason she left is because like they just want to do pro wrestling and make money and all that. So I'm not as concerned by that. I think she's just in it for the long haul until she just straight up doesn't feel like wrestling anymore. For me, it's just a matter of, I said it after, and this is before Mayu even got into the company. It's just I said it when she dropped to Mai, as we're watching the show, that she just feels like the most natural next champion after Utami won it, because, well, I said it was either her or Mirai, and then they ran the Mirai match, and I was just like, there's legitimately nobody else, because I doubt they rushed straight into the Mayu title match, especially with them being in the same block. And there's really nobody else. Mai's champion, and then like I said, they already went through the Mirai match, so there's not much they can do. I mean, I love Nagisa Nozaki as much as the next person. She's not winning this tournament, so it's a matter of Aono's really the only true option at this point, just because every other possible option has been kind of boxed out, unless they just do something crazy and go, all right, one of the rookies are winning, which I don't think they will. I think Aono getting Nanai's last match was done with a plan in place. I don't think she got Nanai's last match in order to just come here and lose. I think she got Nanai's last match not just because of the Hoda connection, but because there are big plans on the horizon for her, and this is like her true ascent to the. It was her true ascent into the main event scene. So it really, for me, is just a matter of she's the only one that feels like she has a strong chance. In a world where Mai didn't have the UN, in a world where Mirai didn't challenge for the red belt, things would be a lot differently. But since we live in a world where Mai is the United National Champion, Mirai just challenged for the red belt, Mayu's Superfly champion, that really limits your options. I think and the way I'm looking at Miku is similar to how we looked at Utami last year, where it was like, I don't know, it feels too soon to do Utami, but reality set in that there was just not really another option because they had already set Mai up for something. So that's where I'm at with it. Obviously a great pick, and sometimes the safe picks are always the best picks, just because hey, why overthink it? I think if you overthink it, that often leads to bad things. So just go ahead and stick the landing and give Miku the tournament.
Yeah, I will say, if you were to make me pick somebody other than Miku, there's like a very small chance that they would have Utami back to back and pick her challenger. Yeah. But I also wonder if maybe he wants to
Kumi, no time limit, baby.
Yeah, but I mean, maybe he wants to really, really push Utami as like the formative wrestler of Marigold. Rossi is not very subtle about his pushes. I wouldn't put it past him if he wanted to say, okay, the icon is behind me, she's here, but she's behind us, and Anaya's gone. Utami is everything to this company. I could firmly see him giving her back-to-back GPs and then just picking her opponent. Not that he would do it. Obviously, Iono is the more obvious choice. But if you forced me to pick somebody other than Iono, I wouldn't rule out a back-to-back Utami GP.
I think that'd be a unique choice, which I do appreciate. Even though, I agree that it's Miku by a mile, and then you kind of have to figure something out. Like I said, that's why I was like, I don't know, maybe the white belt, because then that opens up like Mirai. But you guys are both right; it's highly unlikely that happens. I do like Utami as like a second pick, because I mean we talked about on the 5-star preview. I'm a fan of the idea of the champion winning the tournament. I feel like it doesn't happen ever. The last time it happened in a major tournament it has been at least like a decade. Unless Noah. Wait, no. Kaito won the N1.
Kaito won it last year as GHC heavyweight champion.
Yeah. Yeah, so Kaito.
So
But before
he was the
Kaito,
last.
it had
It
been
was
like
a long
20
time.
years, or something like crazy like that.
Yeah.
So outside of Kaito, it's like it's a long time. It doesn't happen very often. So I am always kind of like interested by that idea, but I
hmm
agree. It's Miku by a mile, and then someone like an Utami, someone like a Mirai, but Mirai would have to win, because it would be like a comeback. I mean, that's how
hmm
Mirai won the white belt the first time, right?
If
Or the only time.
Mm.
if presumably we weren't talking about Ryogoku, I could see Utami as a second pick because Kaito won it last year not only to strengthen his odds at Tospo MVP, but just because he had beaten basically all the credible challengers at that point, and like the person who probably was going to win the tournament got injured and had to get pulled from it. So they took the time of him winning and then built up Masa in the meantime to be the filler challenger to carry them to whatever Kaito did next. So if it wasn't Ryogoku at stake, presumably, I could see a world where they did something similar where it's like, oh, Tommy wins, and then we'll just figure out a challenger during that
Yeah.
period.
No,
All
that
right.
makes sense.
I guess we'll move on to kind of maybe something that's a bit harder to pick.
Mhm.
Who would you say is like going to be the MVP of the tournament? Xavier, you have some interesting takes on Marigold, so let's start with you. Who do you think is going to be tournament MVP?
I have a feeling it's going
Um,
to be who he has to win.
yeah, I mean, 100%, dude. Like, come on, man. Who else other than Chica Goto could it be? She's the last true babyface in Joshi Pro Wrestling and pro wrestling in general. She's got the block to succeed. Like, come on. She's the most obvious pick. However, if it's not going to be her, it's going to be very hard for it to not be Mayu because yes, she has a weaker block to work with as compared to the Killer's Road that is the other block. But Mayu made something out of nothing last year in the 5-star GP. She could take these inexperienced wrestlers who are very good, by the way. They're not like terrible or anything, and do something similar. I think she's kind of in a role where she's like Nanai was last year, where it's like, okay, she's probably not going to win, but she's going to come out here and just have a bunch of good matches and elevate a lot of people, whether that be in defeat, whatever the case may be. So those two come to mind, but if I can give an out of left field one, I don't know if it's really out of left field, but I think she's polarizing outside of our friend group, especially in the terms of Marigo, just because people don't know how she works. Nozaki has the best possible block for her to just go all out in
Mhm.
because she very much could end up in the top 3 as far as points wise in this tournament if they really wanted to do it. She has all the right people to work with. Her and Mariah have good chemistry, and obviously they've been having a lot of fun on the house shows. They're destined to have a good one. I think her and Miku can have a good one. Her and Mai have had a good one. There's just a lot that she can do that I think she can stand out. I think with the other block, it's kind of hard just because there's so many inexperienced wrestlers that I'm not really looking for any of them to be the MVP. I just kind of want to see them grow. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I'm similar. Mayu feels like an obvious one for her block at least,
hmm
because she because I okay, so I looking at the blocks, and this is kind of where we talk about just like the makeup a little
hmm
bit of blocks. Um, I look at the Star League, and I look at like a very good baseline. You know what I mean? Like it should have a very high floor of just quality overall because all these wrestlers are very good. The weakest of the bunch are Kazuna and Chanyota, and Chanyota is just because she doesn't have many singles reps. So it's like she's had like 20 singles matches in her career. Uh, and Kazuna again also kind of just because of reps and because of how good everybody else is. So I mean, like that's a really great just like lineup. It's like you said, a killer's row. But I put together the schedule spreadsheet, and there are next to no new matches in the Star League. Um, the only new match that doesn't involve Chanyota as an outsider is Mirai versus Kazuna Tanaka, which just hasn't really happened. Like it just kind of, uh, you know, by circumstance. So in that sense, I am looking at the Dream League as like a bit more of an interesting block because it does have a lower floor. Some of these matches could be not good. You know, I mean, like some of these matches could just not click at all, and some of these wrestlers are very capable of dropping the ball. But I do think that there is something super interesting with Mayu versus Chiaki and versus Senka, and Utami versus Senka, and all these different things. I think of the people in that block and all of the people overall, I do expect Mayu to have probably the most interesting tournament, because I think she'll be up for all of the challenges of this tournament, of her block. She'll be up for getting getting the best out of Kouki. She'll be up for getting the best out of Rhea. I expect her and Chiaki to have a fucking masterclass, judging by how much they love working together. And so Mayu is the obvious. Otherwise, it's always going to be Mirai. I just think Mirai is so, because she's very, and I say this as he's on a run, knock on wood. She's very Yu Uemura, where it's like in
Oh my
Mario
god!
at least.
Don't. Listen, when he was on his run, he got injured. So don't wish that on Mariah, man.
That's why I said knock on wood. That's why I said
Yeah.
knock on wood. But he's doing it again this year. That just like, and I think Mariah last year kind of showed that she has a style that just works for tournaments. And that because she's so versatile and her style is so interesting, and it can be fast or it can be slow, and pacing wise she really knows what she's doing. Like especially during tournaments, I think that she will realistically be the MVP. That isn't just top 3 wrestler ever, Mayu Utani.
The only reason I would push back on Mayu a little is I think she might be exhausted by the end of this tournament. If our guess is right and she has a singles match with Mio at a Marvelous show, does the arena defense, she has a singles with Chika Goto scattered on one of these shows, I think there's a chance that by, night 6, Mayu is just in bits and takes the foot off the gas a little bit. So that's why I would push back a small bit on Mayu. I just think they might be asking a bit too much of her over the next 6 weeks or so. That might take her down a notch.
I think the Mio one is probably like where, yeah, you might be a little concerned because most of her tournament, and then she could go to an arena, she's going to be the aggressor most of the match. She's not going to be working underneath. So
yeah, that's true.
Less bumps.
Good point. Yeah. My pick for MVP, I feel I think I did the exact same with Stardom's, but I think the Star League is essentially my Sakurai running back a lot of matches she's already had, but with people she's really comfortable with, and because they're rematches, they'll be able to start with like an instant aggression and intensity. So I think my Sakurai has a block built for her to just go out there and have great matches. But also, I think she knows she's dropping the UN soon. I think she knows she's never really going to get the red belt. So this could be her last chance to kind of go balls to the wall as a champion in the tournament. So I think there's going to be some element of her that really wants to go, hey, look, this is who I am. I am an important part of Marigold. So I look at my Sakurai, and I think the tournament is really set up for her to do really, really well as a possible MVP.
I think you're right. Good.
What compels you to think she's never going to get the red belt?
I don't think she's getting the red belt either.
Yeah,
I think she can. I think she can win the 5-star, but I don't. Or fuck, Dream Star.
There's one.
That's one.
Yeah.
I think she can win the Dream Star, but I don't know if she'll ever get the red belt outside of, maybe a circumstance that kind of like it falls into her lap.
Okay.
She's not a Miku in that sense, where it's like during her white belt reign, I was like, she's getting the red belt.
Next 3 world champions after Miku. Give them to me.
Miku?
Yeah, give them to me.
Seri, Mayu. Not in that order.
Seri will get it probably like after Mayu gets it. I would say Mirai, Mayu, and then we'll see. I mean, I could see it going back to Utami after Mayu, frankly.
See, yeah, neither of you've given me a valid reason to believe she won't get the red belt.
See,
so
the thing
listen,
is, Rossi has often capped wrestlers at that white belt. He kind of sees it as their peak, and I just feel like my Sakurai might be that. Like he was very much never going to push Tam to the level he did, and she's very Tam in how she wrestles. So I feel like he's going to be like, this is it. This is your peak. This is the belt that represents you best. You are not the red belt material who's going to go 25.
Dog. She has been tasked her entire run with getting good singles matches out of people who've never had singles title matches to this degree. She had Arena, she had Shen Yoda. She is like the safest bet in the company. She's gonna get the red belt. Will it be for long? Probably not. But she's getting a thank you run for sure.
Maybe. I don't know. I'd like it, but Rossi can be a weird dude sometimes.
I think something that you can also cite here is the less inflammatory half of the Utami discussion that Rossi had earlier this year, where he was like, it's hard to have two peak runs. Like, that's not a thing that I really believe in. But Utami's doing her best. Like, that was the first part of that statement that everybody loved on Twitter. That was the first part of it, and I kind of get what he's going for in terms of just how he books. I refer to it as sometimes, and I hate this, is why I started to really dislike NXT, but I refer to it as kind of like black and gold booking, where you get the belt, you're not getting it again, unless you are literally like the guy, you know what I mean? Like Joe got it a couple times. Like unless you are like a persistent top main eventer, you're probably not going to get multiple top title reigns. Rossi sees the white belt as a top title as well. So even though it's easier for Mai Sakurai to win both the white and the red than it is for, Miku to win the red belt, lose the red belt, and then win it again in 2-3 years, I still think it's just, it's hard to burn twice, as he said, for his booking. So we'll see. He's old too, so we are calculating Rossi booking 5 years in advance. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're gonna be looking
and also
at Rossi
I feel
booking
like
for 5 years.
I feel like Mayu might take a slow path to the world title, to where she'll collect every other one, and the world title is like the last one, unless they're just trying to get her to Ryogoku next year.
It's either like she's either like winning next year, or it's gonna take a few years. I get that.
Yeah, but no, I get your
that.
point.
We'll see.
But no, Ma's a good pick for MVP. Like I said,
I do agree. That is a my block more than anything.
It is the safest bet because she's proven to have good matches with these people, and even the ones she hasn't like had them with, like Mirai, she's very comfortable with. So it's slam dunk.
Yeah, no, I feel like the familiarity is something to play into, but also the fact that she won't have to build matches from scratch. She can just go in and be like, "Hey, I remember you, fuck you," and then just trade blows. Also, that 15 minutes has proven to be her sweet spot, so I feel like the tournament is kind of designed for her specifically. I suppose we'll roll on now to maybe a more obvious one. What is your match of the tournament going to be? Like, what is the match that you're looking at and going, that's definitely going to be top 3 at worst in this tournament? Dylan, go to you first. What do you think is going to be your match of the tournament?
I wanted to meme, but
You will have a hidden gem. You can meme on the hidden gem.
Okay, yeah, we'll go there. Match of the tournament. Match of the tournament, legitimately, I think will probably be Mayu and Utami. I know it's obvious, but like they work super well together, and they work especially well together when they are limited in their time. I think if they like, even if and we were talking about this a bit before recording, Alex, that's like, even if they do hit that 15, if they go to a draw, it's 15, right? It's not 20. Was last year 20 or was last year 15?
Rossi always did 15.
It's 15.
Okay, I feel like I didn't really remember. But even if they hit 15, I think that is still like it'll work for them. You know what I mean? Every match they've had together I quite liked, outside of like the Sendai Sun Plaza one, and that's because it was in an empty arena, basically. And just the vibes are kind of off. And Utami won the belt, and it was like, oh, okay, we're here now, cool. But even that was like a good match, and I've loved their work since. So I am expecting a hot cork and main event between Mayu and Utami to just be kind of unbeatable. But also Mirai Miku.
I was gonna say, why are you just
Similar,
not taking the easy one?
similar to Mayu and Utami in a way. I've loved every single match they've had outside of kinda one, and that one didn't really even count because that was the one where Miku was preparing to get her ass beat by Bozilla, so she was like taking it easy in the Mirai half of the match. And even that was a very good match. So I am super excited to see them run that back for the first time in over a year now. That'll be a banger.
All right, Xavier.
I took the easy ones. You guys go for the rest.
Xavier, are you going for Iono Mirai? Is that your pick?
Yeah, they're the safest bet. But I'm gonna go Senka Seri. Obviously, best other than Mirai Miku. I guess Mayu and Tommy, if that's your thing. Easily the best chemistry in the entire tournament. We haven't seen that in the singles, so and with that being said, us not seeing it in the singles, their tag stuff has been really fucking good. So we've only scratched the surface of what they can do together. So I'm going with them.
Yeah, I'm also gonna go with Utami versus Mayu. Gonna copy Dylan. I still think of how great that the IWGP tournament match was. Like that was excellent, and I think Utami will be quite similar in this to how she was in that one, and I think Mayu has also been quite similar. So I think there's a chance that they just go absolutely bonkers in Cork and Hall. So it's kind of hard to look past them. There's a lot of great matches, that are gonna happen. I think it's hard with like the first day has some cool ones, but then it's a double header. So are people going to be at 100%? And then there's other great matches that are in Ichikawa, like Utami versus Seri in Ichikawa. I have a feeling the crowd is going to let that one down, just a little bit. So it definitely makes it hard to pick like anything else as match of the tournament. Maybe that's where we get more fun though, because what's going to be your hidden gem? What's a match you look at and you think nobody's expecting this to go crazy, but I think it will. And Xavier, I cannot wait for what you're going to pick. I just know you're going to blow my mind here. So let's start.
I think I have 3. Obvious. If Mayu versus Gochika wasn't happening, the greatest match of all time would be Chanyota versus Gochika. That's gonna be the one.
I remember the second that the blocks got unveiled, Scott texted the group chat and he was like, dude, Xavier is gonna be so pumped when he wakes up, or
yeah,
no,
man.
like it was so fucking funny. He was like, this is the Xavier match, baby.
Yeah, for sure. This is the peak of pro wrestling, if you ask me. But if they get time, Mirai versus Big Kiz really interests me, especially since Kiz is taking arms now. I think that's going to be a fun little match if they do a lot of mat stuff. But at the other,
one of the only first time matches, so that
yeah,
is an interesting one.
in the other block, 2 people that surprisingly have very good chemistry. If you watch the house shows, Utami and Chiaki could be very good.
Yep. I agree.
Dylan, what are you gonna go for?
I am going to I'll give 2, because I immediately think of 2. My number 1, also a Chiaki one. My number 1 is Chiaki versus Mayu. Because
Is that? I feel like Mayu matches are a cop out. Like yeah, I've seen Mayu do a lot with bad wrestlers, so like I feel like it's a cop out as far as
okay,
hidden gems.
I want to talk about it anyway, so I'll come with another 2. But
That's fair.
Mayu versus Chiaki, and this is my hot take. I don't think Chiaki walks away with that as a loser. I think Chiaki either gets a double count out or gets a count out win over. That'll probably be Chiaki's first win of the tournament, and I think that would be really fucking funny. Is Chiaki, because it's like her second to last match, I think. I think it'd be really funny if Chiaki just got a count out win over Mayu, or even a double count out, and was just like fuck you, I don't care. Like just to ruin her day, because like that's just very Chiaki.
The old
I
huge Shingo G1.
exactly. You get it. Like I don't know. I feel
Yeah.
like there's comedy there. Like I feel like there can be
Yeah.
such a fun match. You know what I mean? Just
Yeah.
waiting to happen. Other than that, I am looking at another Darkness Revolution match. I'm looking at Misa and Nozaki. Last day.
Mhm.
I don't expect that to be anything insane because it is the last day and there's a lot of matches on the last day.
Yeah.
So I don't expect
Placement wise, it's probably not too high.
it's probably not going to have a crazy, good run time. It might be a little bit, under the radar. But I think if
But it is
they,
Corkin.
that's what I mean. If they can like utilize their time as well as possible, and I expect them to, because obviously Nozaki loves her faction mates. And I think that's one place you can very much trust Nozaki to try is against Misa Matsui. I think that could be awesome, and I think that could be a lot of fun. And then my other one, mm, uh, I like they put a lot of good matches on on the last day because like Chanyeol and Horizon obviously won too, but I think that's probably a easier last day one though because
You
that'll
should pick the
go
funniest match on this board.
Kouki versus Chiaki.
No, Kouki versus Sanka.
Oh
Kouki
my
trying to
god,
get
no,
out of a
you're
shoe
right.
pin.
That does sound like
That's
a
the
crazy
funniest.
match. Um, dude, Kouki trying to get out of shoe pin and then doing a back bridge would be based. I'm not gonna lie, that would be the realest. Um, that is a crazy match. Other dark horse, yeah. I mean, like I said, I think Mirai and Chen Yoda is gonna be some hoss shit, as they say. As will Miku and Chen Yoda. So I feel like Chen Yoda's the dark horse where you kind of want to see, like you're not expecting a ton, but you see some
Speak for
like elements
yourself.
of. Well, I'm not expecting a lot because I don't want to be like I said, she's had like 20 singles matches ever, so I'm not expecting
Most of them are real as
seven
hell.
bit.
Yeah,
I
man.
agree,
She just
but I don't
runs
think,
into people. That's what's
Yeah,
up.
I don't
and that's
know.
why I think her and Miku's gonna go hard, and her and Mirai for that matter.
Okay. Well, you can tell me if mine is actually a hidden gem or if I'm just bullshitting, and I'll pick a different one. I was gonna go with Yuzuki versus Rhea.
No, that's a good one.
Is that acceptable?
I was thinking that one, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, their Superfly match was really good, but if people didn't see that, especially if there's people that came in when Mayu joined, I can understand you picking that. But also the dynamics a lot different now with Rhea and Darkness Revolution. So yeah, I'll accept that.
I think there could be
Yes.
a lot of fire there. Yeah.
Yeah. See, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Like a lot of
Yeah.
Grand Prix matches, they have to start from zero.
Yeah.
But that won't have to start from zero, which I think will make it a lot more interesting. It's kind of the same with the Mai Sakurai MVP thing. She won't have to build from the beginning. She has natural stuff built with all these people. And so I think Yuzuki and Rhea in Shinjuku face as well, which is always good for Marigold. They can just deliver a very heated, intense match that will play into both their strengths. And like Xavier said, they had a good match already. So they're going to work together and they're probably going to improve on it.
It's probably one of Rhea's own like few victories
Yeah,
because
I can
Yuzuki
also
is the
think
reason.
that's what I was gonna say.
Yuzuki is the reason that she turned because I'll be honest, Yuzuki was kind of a prick. I actually don't blame Rhea for turning. I would have did the same.
Ray
But
was completely justified.
yeah, and the idea that her story is she's tired of being behind Seri and Yuzuki, which I mean, yeah, she is. I don't foresee her beating Seri. I think Seri's just gonna pummel her on the mat. I watched this woman completely dog walk an ace of a company to the point they had to get off the mat. So I don't think that one's coming. But I do foresee her beating Yuzuki, especially since Yuzuki's already beaten her. I think that'll be a good feather in Rhea's cap as a heel.
I also think similar to what I was saying with Chiaki, Rhea might go scoreless up until the Yuzuki match.
Mhm.
Because she has all of the
She
people that she
faces
can't.
Senka before that, so probably not.
No, she faces
Nah,
Senka on the last day.
No,
Wait, no. When does she face Senka?
A6.
I
Oh,
honestly think Senka's only win comes against Seri. So like I don't know.
Yeah.
I had Senka over Seri and Rhea. Those were the 2 wins, and then she has a
I
game.
mean, they're possible. I think the Rhea match is interchangeable, especially since they kind of had they kind of went at each other when they both qualified, and then Rhea cried a lot. So like, I think it's interchangeable, but I could see Rhea just like cheating to win that one.
Yeah, true. No, I get that. I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, but still, I still think by day 9, I don't think Rhea is going to have many points. So I think a win
Oh
over
no,
Yuzuki will mean a lot. I mean, I think that will be like a feather in the cap sort of thing. Because that is a thing that you always got to kind of look at with tournaments. Is
I
some of these
think the
wrestlers
top
not
5 are the
good.
ones that are locks in that block to have like high points. So
Yeah, exactly. Like some people are just not going to do well, frankly. So you got to find where they can get like a valuable couple points. If you've heard me talk about the 5-star or the Dream Star in the past over the past 5 years, you'll know that I'm always big on this, and I think it's an important part of tournaments. I think if you look at like Best of Super Juniors this year, the reason why it was so negatively received was because it didn't feel
wasn't
like
good.
any. Well, no, but there were good matches, but it didn't feel like not any individual thing mattered at all the entire time.
Yeah,
Because
welcome to New
like
Japan Pro Wrestling,
Kosei
buddy.
won here, but then he lost here. Like there was no like, oh, this guy got a win that mattered. It was just everybody won sometimes and lost sometimes, and then it was over. So like, and this is kind of going on a tangent, but like I'm looking at someone like Kazuna Tanaka. I don't
How did
expect
I
her
know
to get.
you'd bring up
She
Kazuna?
gets 2 points.
I
She
expect her to
gets
get
2.
2 points. But, and we talked about this, her over Nozaki
Makes a lot of sense.
is a very valuable 2 points. That's probably better than her getting 4 points
Yeah.
against,
It's
if she was
valuable
in the same
for
block, but against Rhea
not
and,
just standing wise, but for her story as a pro wrestler. Being that Nozaki's someone so important to her pro wrestling career and everything that's transpired, that win probably means more than any other win for her, probably in this block, unless like she beats like Miku or Mai, which isn't happening.
Yeah, and that's also Kazuna's first win or first match of the tournament. So I think it would be kind of cool for her to just kind of get a win and be like, "Holy fuck, and then she loses the rest of her matches. I think that is a story they can tell, especially with her losing to Rhea this past weekend, I believe. That mean like she's not winning.
I
She's
see
not
your
winning
vision.
matches.
Darkness Revolution Hunter Kazuna Tanaka. Shades
Fuck
of
yeah.
Yoshihashi, Bullet Club.
Shades of Yoshihashi, shades of Frankie
Or
Kazarian.
Yoshitatsu, I mean. Yeah.
Drew McIntyre.
Drew
Oh my
McIntyre.
god, yeah.
Bloodline Hunter. Yeah.
Oh,
Short-lived.
yeah.
Roman
I was
Reigns
thinking,
said, "Hell no, brother. That does not work for us."
you're
He said,
gonna
"Hey, buddy."
go fight. You're gonna go fight Jelly Bean, or whatever the fuck his name is. And that's
You should have
on
called
business. Yeah,
Butterbean. That'd been awesome.
Kazuna Tanaka, Darkness Hunter. I fuck with it.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, enough about kids. I came with this question on the spot, and I'm kind of interested. How do we think Seri does, both in ring and in terms of points? Because she's kind of the one big, like, question mark. Because she's the super rookie. She is, has barely lost, already been a tag champion, debuted against Mirai, got the Yoyogi match with Takumi. Like, they love her. So I'm just kind of curious because I look at her on the last day against Rhea, and I'm like, either she loses because she's in play to win the block, or that's her gaining ground on the top 3 by beating Rhea. Like, I think she finishes top 4, top 5-ish of the block.
For sure. I think you can lock that in.
I have her finishing top 1 of the block. I have her in the final.
Wow. Okay,
I was gonna say I'm not mad at her reaching the final because if Miku makes it, you have a story there. I mean, Miku retired Nanai. This is Nanai's child. Like this is a very easy story.
Where I was coming from immediately was we talk about
we
it.
can do the final later. Don't worry, you'll have time for the final.
Seri specifically. Xavier, you want to go first? You can.
Yeah, I'll go first. I'm not too concerned about her in-ring wise. I like her in-ring style more than any of the youngsters, just because she has the amateur background, and I'm a sucker for that stuff. Like I said, I watched her just dog walk Takumi on the mat to the point they're like, all right, we got to get off this mat and do something else because this is making the ace look bad. So like I'm not really concerned about her in the ring necessarily, even though it is singles. I think she's more than capable. Points wise is interesting because like I said, I mean her in the final is definitely not out of the picture for sure. It's hard to tell. I mean, definitely top 4 for sure, but I honestly don't know. I think she's due for a loss versus Senka for sure.
Yeah.
I could see her and Yuzuki going to a draw. That Seto match on the final night is very telling. Like you said, she's either losing because she's in play and Rhea's gonna beat both her and Yuzuki and kind of improve her ground and just keep her from going to the final. Or she just beats her German suplex at Oki clutch and goes to the final. It's really no in between.
Yeah. Dylan, do you want to do the in-ring or will I go next?
I think she'll do. Oh, damn. My Wi-Fi just jumped for a second. No, in ring, I think she'll do quite well. I think stylistically, she has enough to her game to do well in tournaments. Like, I don't think she'll be kind of like I think Yuzuki last year was spotty. She had some really great matches, but she had a couple weak ones because her style was a bit inconsistent. You know, what I mean, she couldn't. It didn't work with every single person she fought against. I think Seri's just does ultimately, especially in her block. I think like okay, so her and Kouki might not mesh super well, but like okay, like that's fine. Otherwise, I think that she'll do great ultimately because she has enough of a grounded move set and enough of a universal move set for it to work super well. And yeah, I expect really really great things out of her. And I don't worry too much because even if she has a stinker here or there, it's gonna be under 15 minutes as far as we know. You know what I mean? Like I still remember the days of the 2025 star when they had Saya Kamatani going 19 minutes against Jamaica, and it's like, wait, why did you do that?
Oh
You
my
didn't need to do
god.
that. That was a lot. Like that was a match that should have gone 9 minutes and went 19. I don't expect Koki and Seri to go to a time limit draw, let alone to 19 minutes. So I'm pretty
I'm sorry, that was a funny.
chill with it. Chiaki. No, it's good. If she doesn't click super well with a couple of these people, that's fine. And even then, I still think that there should be something interesting in every match. Because she's an interesting wrestler, ultimately.
So, as the long-time denier of Seri, I genuinely think this tournament could be her big, like, pay the fuck attention to me moment because she's still so fresh in singles matches. Has she had more than 5? Like, I know she had the Mariah one, she had Nanai, and she had Takumi. But I
And then
genuinely
she's had a
cannot
bunch
remember
of.
many other singles.
She had a
Like,
Rhea one. She had a Kazuna one. She had a Komodo
yeah,
one.
they're so scattered. She's still so fresh. But beyond that, like we've talked about it on the show, she's an excellent seller. So not only are you going to like she has a chance to have so many different kind of matches. Like her and like she's gonna sell for her ass off for Chiaki. She's gonna sell her ass off for Mayu and Utami. She's gonna have a super interesting match with Yuzuki. She's gonna have a super interesting match with Rhea. Her and Senka is like most people's most hyped match of the tournament. Like she's got so much to her game that I think she can just mold herself to her opponent on any given night. I think she's gonna really show everybody just how good she is in this tournament. I think she's going to really, really show up. Like just no matter the opponent, no matter the venue, I think she's going to make it work.
As it's not really a question, it's just a general statement. I assume we are under the assumption, at least looking at the field, this is a make or break tournament for both Chiaki and Kouki, right? Like if they don't if they don't have good performances, I'm not asking them to be good the entire tournament, although that'd be much appreciated. But if they don't at least have a couple good ones, might get spooky when it's time for that chopping block next year.
Do you mean that chopping block next year?
Kouki is
I don't think
definitely
either of them.
last resort to me.
I think
And
well, it depends
I
on what you
want them
mean.
both to be good. For full
Yeah.
reference, I would appreciate it a lot. But
It depends on what you mean by chopping block. Like I said to you guys, because I'm obviously a pretty adamant Koki defender. If she doesn't show any signs of progress by the Utami match by the end of the tournament, like I'll shut up about defending her and being like you guys aren't giving her a shot, and because that's a common sentiment amongst Marigold fans. And so it's like if she doesn't show any progress, I agree. I'll stop until she actually does. I'm not going to be
Mhm.
like, okay, you guys are being unfair, because I do think it's unfair to be like, she isn't she isn't good enough to justify her push when she's not being pushed.
and my
She's
question
just
is
being
on the
comfy.
assumption. My question is posed under the assumption we're keeping the same amount in this field because they could expand the field to 10 if they wanted
I
to next
feel
year.
like
This is
they have to
just
expand the field to 10.
yeah,
But I thought Chiaki was going to be on the chopping block this year.
yeah,
Frankly,
me too.
like I thought she was going to be out or at least have to win her way in. The fact that she didn't tells me that there's something there.
Yeah,
Uh, at least from the perspective of the office. I love Chiaki. Everybody knows this. I'm hoping that she gets to do more this tournament
same.
than she did last year. She's better
She
as a
really
singles
got screwed
wrestler
over
this year.
last year. She
Yeah,
really got
that's what I
screwed over
mean.
last year because she just could. They didn't let her get any ring time.
And Alex, I know this is about the third or fourth reference to a male company, so I apologize. But it is a
You
very
get
Ren
one more.
Narita-esque issue. In that it's like Ren last year had a terrible tournament because he had the same match like 8 times and that was it. And he didn't really literally the first match he had this year, because he was just allowed to just do original stuff, was better than basically every match he had last year. Just because he was able to he was a bit more comfortable in there and he was given a bit more reign. So I'm hoping that Chiaki isn't confined to 4.5 minute matches. The last 30 seconds are her trying to cheat, her failing, her getting beat. Because that was literally every match that she had last year. It was 4 to 7 minutes of just that. That was it. And I still liked some of her matches because she was able to do that well, but you need more than that. If it is just that again, then yeah, I mean, she's just heel fodder at that point, and you gotta question what the trajectory is of this girl. So
I think
I
I
I
think
would
it's
agree, but I think Koki's gonna be in it regardless because
before
Koki is someone they see a lot in. So
yeah, before Alex gives their thoughts. That's kind of what I was getting at. It's more of an issue for Chiaki just because there are 3 people in her faction where they're just like, we don't really need Chiaki in here. As where Koki, I think she has a little more leeway where they're like, all right, we'll still try to make this work. Just because they're both pretty marketable, but Koki's definitely the more marketable one. So I could see them just going like, we'll just keep trying to make it work, and hopefully it does.
Yeah, I think Koki has a lot more to lose if she has a bad tournament. The tide is rising around her very, very quickly. This company is going to keep getting better and better. Yuki Yamazaki isn't in this tournament and she's great already. Komomo Manami isn't in this tournament. She's great already.
Big
Come
Taichibana.
next year, you're gonna have some Nagisa Tajibana, Naho Yamada, now Ishikawa, like all very, very talented wrestlers. And perception wise, Koki has a lot to lose as, the former GHC champion among them. So I do think she needs to have a strong showing, or the fan base in general is just going to start hand waving her and rooting for their favorites over her.
start.
Well, I think it's going to get
They've
worse.
been
Like
doing that the
there's going to
past
be a
year.
lot. There's going to be a lot of resentment if talented wrestlers are getting left out for Koki. Like that's just how it.
Yeah.
That's just how it works. It's pro wrestling. Like I'm sorry, it's not. It's not ballet. This is a very competitive environment. Fans are very loyal. Like you are going to get pushback if Koki doesn't deliver in this one. I think Chiaki has less to lose because, as you kind of mentioned, Darkest Revolution added another body that they're high on in Rhea Seto. So now you're competing with Rhea and Misa and Nozaki. So I think she's probably getting left out next year unless Nozaki says no to doing this. So I think with Chiaki, she's just kind of maybe the expectation is to do well to try and keep Marigold wanting to push her. But I think she probably knows deep down that like she's probably going to be on the chopping block regardless, just because of her status on the card.
Frankly, I think Chiaki needs to hold on to the fact that Mayu seems to really like her. Like I think I think that's where we're at with Chiaki because I think that she can improve a ton, but I don't know if she's gonna get pushed over Rhea or Misa. I don't
Mhm.
think she should ever get pushed over Misa. And Rhea, I like Rhea a lot, but I do love Chiaki. I like her more than
I think
I like
Shaq is
Rhea. To be
better at
honest.
what they do than Rhea, but I think I like Rhea
Yeah,
For
more.
sure.
that's what I mean. Like, but also I can tell they just like see Rhea as a more potential
Yeah.
type of wrestler, and
The thing about
Nozaki's kind of
Chiaki
like
is
that too.
she's so charismatic that if she just becomes competent, that's good enough. we You can go all in if you wanted to.
If she grows like main eventer ability, like just the ability to main event a card, not even like like she's a top wrestler in the world. If she grows the ability to like competently do a main event singles match. I think she's very good at main event tag
Mhm.
matches. I've always said this. I've always thought she was a very good tag wrestler. But if she grows to be able to do main event singles matches, if she's given that shot, I think there is a high ceiling for her. But I don't know if she's gonna get that shot. You know what I mean? I do worry that she's a heel now, Ishikawa, who just isn't really given shots as much as people next to her. Like now Chicago's
She's
a
got
baby
one
face.
more title reign than Naoya Ishikawa does. I'll tell you that.
That's true, and it was a banger win for
Yeah,
Chiaki in that title
sure.
in that title match. But like really, like when you
Plus, you
think
need
about it,
them trios belts, brother. Get going. Get them going.
one day. But that's the thing about Chiaki is that it's like I I uh, I fear that she won't get the shots to be good. You know what I mean? And I talked to Alex about it because I sympathized with his now Ishikawa thing a bit. That I was like, I think you can count on one hand the amount of times now Ishikawa has been on the second half of a card, of a Marigold card, like ever. She just doesn't get to do that. Chiaki does, but I do question if she on any of these like Dream Star cards ever, like in the next few years, will she ever get on the second half of any of them, or will she be cursed to the second match of the night uh, indefinitely? That's kind of what I'm looking at. I think a lot of it's more booking than ability because yes, if she grows the ability, like she becomes able to competently handle a main event singles match, then yeah, they'll probably push her a little bit more, or they'll at least keep her in the mix a lot more. But a lot of it is like, well, you gotta throw her in the pool. Is she going to ever get the chance to wrestle a main event singles match? I don't know. So with Kouki, it is a matter of ability because she is going to get those main event singles matches, whether we um with Chiaki, it's a matter of ability meets booking. You know what I mean?
Mm. Well, you already teased us with this, Dylan. So, what are you expecting to be the final of this tournament?
It's going to be Seri Yamaoka versus Miku Aono, with Miku Aono going over.
Fascinating.
I think I called this similar to how Xavier said it. First stream, I believe. I think I called it then. That Seri is Utami. So
Mm.
Seri
Oh yeah, you did. No.
enters her tournament, wins her block, and then loses to the obvious winner, which was Utami versus Mayu in 28. That's what they did. So yeah, I expect that to happen, and I think it's a good move, frankly. A lot of people are saying Koki. I don't know if I love Koki. I'm a big fan of Koki. I don't know if they want her there right now. I think if she never got hurt, she's a prime candidate
Mhm.
to make it to the final of this tournament. Hell, she would have been a prime candidate to have won the white belt by now, if not in a couple months. Like realistically, if Koki never got hurt and she was
Yeah.
going on the trajectory she was on, she was getting better. If she just kept steadily improving a little bit and didn't get hurt and kept going, she could be winning the white belt in 2 months. I don't think that's where we're at anymore. Uh, so I think Seri just makes the most sense. And like I said, I think Seri versus Miku is a passionate final. And I'm always here for some passion. You know what I mean? I'm always here for a passionate final. It is the woman who beat Nanai versus the woman who inherited her heart and soul, her gear. I think that's a cool final. It's a fresh enough matchup without it being a matchup that you're wasting. Because like you throw in Mayu to lose to Miku, that's way too big. It's a first time match. You can't advertise it. You can't do it. Same with Inutami. You know, I guess Yuzuki's a possibility. Which Xavier, I think you're gonna kind of shed light on maybe, because I know that was in your conversation at least. I just think that Seri makes most sense, especially because Mayu ain't losing to Yuzuki.
Yeah, it's very.
She ain't gonna do it.
It's
She ain't gonna do it.
very.
I think Mayu is
optimistic.
more likely to lose to Seri than she is to lose to
Yes.
Yuzuki.
Can I just
Because
say, I
Mayu
really
has
like how
advantage
you say
without
Seri.
those.
I really like. I don't know why. I just like some of the emphasis you put on Seri
Seri?
when you say
Oh,
it.
because
Yeah,
I
it's
said
Seri. It's, I,
Seri.
I,
Well,
I
that's how
like
you,
it.
you know. But I think we saw it just this past year and a half. Mayu was cool with putting over Azumi, would not put over Starlight Kid. She's cool with putting over Inutami, doesn't want to put over Tam Nakano because these people are people who are her proteges. Like legitimately on screen, behind the scenes, they are her proteges. She doesn't want to put them over early. I mean, she just doesn't. She's not going to give that away. She's not losing to Yuzuki final day. Makes it very hard for Yuzuki to get through. Mayu can lose to Seri. I don't think that's something she would hesitate on. So, and it's first day. Mayu historically always loses the match on the first day.
Yeah.
Like she's like 2-8 or 9 on first day. So I think Seri going through is where I'm at with the Dream League. I almost called it the Red Block. Got myself. I think that's who's going through up there, and obviously who's going through in Star.
All right. See, I had for a while said Seri would go through to the final, but that was because I thought for ages that Mayu would win. And I think if it's not Mayu, I wouldn't do it. But I can definitely see the reasoning behind
I will
Miku
also say
versus Seri.
Seri versus Sanka isn't on the final night. So if it was on the final night, Sanka stops her. Cool.
Yeah.
I think Seri just steamrolls Rhea and then waits on results. All the results come in. They all look good for Seri. She goes through.
Okay. Xavier, what's your pitch for the final?
As far as I'd probably want Seri versus Miku, but I'm thinking Yuzuki versus Miku, just because of what Rossi's mindset has been with the tournament final, at least in Marigold in this 1 year, is you have the safe pick to win, and then you have the person you're just elevating up to that status. Last year it was I think this year can be Yuzuki because Yuzuki's already won the Superfly, so they can use this as an elevation for her toward the United National. And you still have your guaranteed winner in Miku there, who can, I don't think Yuzuki necessarily needs carrying, but Miku can make up for whatever inexperiences might hamper her in the tournament final setting, so to speak. Like I said, I don't hate the Seri idea. I think it's a good one, but I think Seri, there's still, I don't want to say there's still like weaknesses in her game or something, but I feel like they got behind Yuzuki so much, at least as a singles act. I think they could tell the story of Seri. Yeah, she's had some singles matches, but she still need to adjust to really compete at a high level in a single setting against a lot of the people in the company. As where Yuzuki has already been a singles champion. She's already beaten a lot of people. She's debuted a new finisher. Like she's trying. She seems like she's being set up already to possibly make the final. And like I said, she could upset Mayu, and even if she doesn't, she just has to survive her. There could be a situation where Mayu, like if they draw, Yuzuki goes through or something like that. So I kind of think that might be on the horizon just to hammer on Yuzuki because like in the Easy Gen video where it was Utami and Rossi, like Rossi spoke about how much Yuzuki has grown. So I have a feeling that he's just very high on Yuzuki, that he'll just put her through the final, even though like I don't see her having a snowball's chance in hell of winning. I do see that being a situation where it's just like, okay, she was in the final though, so that elevates her. Like she could be challenging for the white belt like Mai did, or just whatever the case may be. It's just something to elevate her to a level higher than where she is now. So that's kind of my thinking with it.
Okay. I think that's why I kind of think of a Kouki Miku final as most likely. I think they've done a lot to try and get Kouki to the next level, kind of like Chica is.
Mhm.
And I feel like you putting her in there with Miku Aono is literally the safest chance you have. Like they've had matches together before that made people think Kouki was excellent. So I think you can trust Iono here to do that again, to not only get her a big win, but to also have a match good enough. Everybody sits back and goes, "Whoa, Kouki is something," And I think Kouki getting a win over Utami and getting like the surprise of the world champion and waltzing in and having the best match of her career, I think that would do a huge amount for her stock. Even if she has a bad tournament up till then, she could legitimately turn it around in one day with that one. So I just think
Big
they
Yoshihashi fan.
I think they might really use Iono's ability to have the best match of the night with to really elevate Kouki. And I don't know. I just think it would make a lot of sense.
You know what's something I'm kind of something that Alex, you might not like, and I don't really know how the math or the schedule turns out. But what I could kind of see uh is, and I kind of alluded to, or I teased this, not I speculated this could happen with the 5-star. What I could see happening is Koki beating Utami, um, and that not producing Koki to the top. It lets Seri in, and then Seri loses, Miku wins, and Miku goes to challenge Utami, but Koki decides, hey, I want to challenge first, and she loses in a Korkin stat pad, and that could be Koki's big coming out party. Is a fucking 14-minute loss to Tommy in a Korkin Hall on a Tuesday. You know what I mean? Like just to get Utami one more defense before she drops to Miku, and get Koki that big coming out party. I don't know if like, because like Xavier said, like the GP final is always between main eventer who's winning and the guy who's probably gonna win the white belt, or is at least the mid carder who isn't gonna win this fucking tournament, obviously, but is like it's a very how do I put it? It's a very specific type of archetype of person. I don't know if they see Koki there right now. Again, if she didn't get injured, sure. But I think Koki at most is a fodder defense. I don't think she's this is next up. Like, she came within seconds of winning this tournament. I don't think that's where we're going with Koki. If it is, cool.
I
Who
mean,
knows?
a Koki Utami world title match couldn't move me less, but I'm willing to talk myself into it from the perspective of it's someone Koki can be comfortable with. But even then, that match just terrifies me.
It was fine
Yeah.
last year. It was fine in the last.
Was it a
Avatar
world
last
title match last year, Dylan? Was it a world title match last
That's a
year?
good point. No, touche.
Okay.
Touche, if you will.
I feel like you're underestimating Koki to an extent in that she was the first GHC women's champion. They purposely put her out there to win a
Juventud
title.
Guerrera was the first GHC junior heavyweight champion, and he was like on crack or something.
Yeah,
Too
but
Cold
they
Scorpio and Vader were the first GHC tag teams. I didn't even know
okay,
that
yeah,
until
but
like a while ago.
they put her out there in Ota Ward to win a singles title. A show where a lot of people had nothing to do. So I feel like they do still view Koki as one of the upper card.
Oh, she blew out her
wrestlers.
knee, bro.
It was I was gonna say she blew out her knee on that show.
That has never stopped Rossi. I really don't think he's the type to just give up on it. So I think he would definitely give it one
He's
last
not
go to
giving
force
up
it.
on Koki. He's
Yeah,
not giving
no.
up on
I
Koki.
just think Iono
I think
is your
Koki
best
wins the
chance
white belt in the next
haul
year or
her
two.
up. Like Iono an FGP final.
Being
with Iono
cautious
is
and giving up is like two different things.
yeah, but he's never cautious. This man is insane.
He is. That's a good point.
Yeah.
I don't know. Part of me
OED in a
just
Corkin main event when Reno was like 16. He does
part
not
of
give a
me
damn.
part of me just doesn't love the idea of having to listen to Actress Girls fans tell me that Kouki's bad
You can
because
just
she
ignore
had
it.
a good
Why are
match
you scared of
against
Twitter?
Miku again.
Why are you afraid of the internet?
It's
The
not, I just don't feel
first,
like
the
I
bro,
want Kouki to get
listen,
a more
listen.
interesting
Why are you
showcase if
afraid of
that's
the
what we're doing.
internet? Just chill out.
Koki versus Aono in the final is a hell scenario. One, if it's good, it's just gonna be excuses. Oh well, it was Aono. Of course, Koki had to have a good match because it was Aono. She's still pretty bad, and they're still gonna use this to overpush her. And I'm not trying to hear all that. And then if it's bad, people are gonna be like, oh well, this match was like good in Actress Girls. I don't care. I don't. That was like 2 years ago. What do you want me to do about that?
Yeah. Well,
Like that's like a hell scenario for me, man.
I would like I like my scenario, but I'm not saying that it will happen because
Her
again,
them in the United National
scheduling
match
problems.
was good, but it was like the most basic match possible. It was just okay, good
Kouki had
enough.
better matches last year, but
Yeah.
I digress. I would like I said, I would like if we're gonna be putting Kouki over, I would like to do it in a different capacity, or maybe a later capacity at least. And I think Seri is perfect here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I truly and because
Yeah, she can win the she can win the she can
at
win
any point.
she can win the inaugural Snow White tournament. I think that's the safest thing for her.
Oh, is that Koki's or is
Yeah,
that
that's Koki's the
yeah?
Snow White tournament.
I'm fucking with it, bro.
All right.
The rotten apple, rotten, or the poison apple cup.
I don't think you'd be allowed to do that.
Probably not, but
Sure.
I
Because
think
I know,
Disney might.
wasn't Pro Wrestling Eve's whole thing that they were based around the
An
apple,
apple?
for a while? Yeah, like the apple from Eve.
Oh, Adam and Eve, like that
Yeah,
type of
I
thing.
think the She Won trophy used to be like a bitten into apple, but I would have to
That's
double check.
funny.
So, um,
Bring back tournaments
I don't
with
think
the
Eve-
stupidest names imaginable. We
yes,
have
okay.
lost the recipes. Where is Summer Adventure Tag League? Like, come on. We have lost the recipes over the years.
you're damn right.
Hey, I want since we're kind of closing up real quick. I want to get a feel for my tag team tournament, my EWR save.
Oh, please don't.
The name
Okay.
is the Pain and Panic Cup, the Hercules reference. Huh?
Okay.
Oh, okay.
It's the little
Sure.
fuckers from Hercules.
You should have named it Hammy Goes Nuts, but I digress.
What is
The
with you
hammy,
and Hammy?
the hammy goes nuts cup. Let's go.
All right.
It's an acorn on a.
I have two more questions, and then we can wrap it up. I think this will be pretty simple. Which league do you think is better, Dream League or Star League? Most people have already decided. I'm going to put it out there. I think Star League is better. We kind of went into this on the podcast already, but it's just more consistent. I think the lower ends of Star League are going to be better than the lower ends of Dream League. And I think the highs are going to be just as high. So I would go with Star League. Dylan, what about you?
Yeah, it's probably Star League. Like I kind of alluded to it earlier. I think there's more intrigue in Dream League with some of these matches because I really don't know how they're gonna go, but they could go bad. You know what I mean? Like that is a possibility for a decent amount of them. Whereas with Star League, it's like I can't see more than a handful of matches like failing outright or falling apart. So I do like the chaos potential in Dream League, but I think if you're looking at what's a better league overall, it's definitely Star League.
Well, Chaos died, buddy. So, like, I don't know what to tell you.
Shouts out Chaos one time.
Xavier, considering Chikagoto is in Star League, I'm going to assume you agree with us. So that's the better one.
It's by far the better one. I'm sorry. Like, I like the Dream League a lot. I love the concept. You have Mayu and Utami in there to try and raise up the inexperienced and or weaker workers. I like the concept of it a lot, but Star League, I have more faith in the worst like worker, so to speak, in Star League, which is either Chen Yoda or Kazuna, than I do the worst worker in Dream League, which is probably either Koki or Chiaki. So like, it's pretty much that simple.
Yeah. Okay. Last question. Looking mostly at the first day and the last day, what are we thinking is going to be the biggest upset? Dylan, you love this kind of stuff, so throw out there your biggest upset from either the first day or the final day.
We already kind of talked about Kazuna over Nozaki as being a fun upset that feels
Shouts
like
out.
it probably can't happen, but it should, and it would be cool.
Mhm.
Other than that, I am looking at. I want to say Misa over Miku on the first day.
Ooh.
I was thinking about that one.
I think
Because
that's
Misa's not going to score high, but her beating the
No.
potential winner does a lot for her.
I agree. And then still on the first day, I think, as I again alluded to earlier, I think Seri beats Mayu. I think Mayu can beat Sanka easy, but I still think Mayu is cursed on the first day. I think that'll continue. And I think Seri having the tiebreaker over Mayu puts the last day into a lot of intrigue. You know what I mean? Looking at the last day, I'm not really sure. It's kind of hard to. I mean, Chan
Have to
Yo-Yo
have
or
them
can-
for
Mai.
last day. If you have some for the first day, you don't need them for last.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just
Don't
Chan
be
Yo-Yo or
greedy.
Mai. That's it.
Yeah. Thank you for stealing mine after you already picked two, but that's okay.
That's the only. That's the only
Right.
upset. Really,
I don't even
on
know the
last
first day matchup, so whatever.
What's yours, Xavier?
Mine was Chenyoda's going to stop Mirai from advancing. So
Ah, right. Yeah. So mine is that I'm with Dylan.
either
think,
that or Yuzuki beats Mayu, like I said. So
okay. I'm much less certain of that one. I'm more with Dylan. I think somebody beats Mayu on day one. I think it is more likely. It's more likely to be Seri because tiebreakers on the final day would make a lot of sense then, especially if Seri is going.
there is no way in hell they give Mayu's first singles loss in Marigold to an outsider. I'm sorry. Absolutely zero chance. So
I
yeah.
don't know. Senka is different. Senka is just special.
Senka
Yeah, but
be
you know who
losing,
isn't different? The guy booking it. I mean, he's different in some ways, but
Same
not
guy.
that way.
Same
definitely
guy he's
think-
always been.
Nagayo definitely has the ability to be like to push him onto
She
the
does
ground.
not.
And
Oh,
she definitely would
absolutely
push him
Mayu?
over and ask him for his lunch money and be like, Senka is beating her or I'm not sending her. And he's like, yes, ma'am.
Ross would be like, "Fine, get the fuck out. I don't care."
No.
We'll talk about this
He
next
would
year.
say, "Bro, go work. Bro,
She
go
would
back
beat him
to
up and take
America. Do
it.
your vanity project. It's okay. We're cooling over
She
here."
would absolutely bully him, I think. But yeah, no, I think definitely Mayu is losing on the first day. I think Seri definitely makes a lot more sense for the tiebreakers on the last day. So that's what I would go with. And yeah, I don't see much on the last day. I mean, I think it will just kind of depend on how the blocks look going into it. Like we'll obviously know, I think, a bit more based on if somebody has 5 points and they're 1 point behind somebody else, then they're going to win on the last day, and the other person's going to drop. So like we'll know that going into it. But I think based on just eyeball test, Mayu looks like the big upset on the first day.
I mean, I could see like Kazuna bookending her tournament with upsets.
You were literally the only person who's brought up Kazuna Tanaka in this entire show, and it is so funny.
I have. I don't know what you're talking about.
Dylan is like, let me get my Chiaki agenda in, my Kazuna agenda in. I'm shocked he hasn't brought up
Somebody's
the
never
bird.
Oh, have you seen my
never
Discord name?
changed. No.
I forgot. It's only in the 5-star. In the
Right.
yeah.
Okay. Very
Check
shame.
that out later.
Oh yeah,
But
Chikagoto's beating Mai, by the way. Shouts out.
Hell yeah. That would be
Who
cool.
the fuck even is that?
She's beating Mai.
I think a few people probably beat Mai, and she like goes into the Sumo Hall as a bit of an iffy champion, maybe.
But yeah, well, I never got to finish my statement. The thing is, I can see Kazuna bookending her tournament with wins, but that would mean she has to beat Chikagoto, and I think Chikagoto has to at least get a decent amount of points, like 6 to 8.
Kazuna's gonna
More
take
like
that choke
6.
slam great, but I hear you.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I think Kazuna ending at like 4, and
I think she just needs key wins. It's not about number of
Yeah.
points, because I think next year might be the year for her to like actually score decently.
I'm more
This
thinking,
year
like,
she just needs big wins.
She feels like a Mayu challenger, and I've been saying this since Mayu won the belt. If Mayu still has the belt, which is another thing we haven't talked about, Mayu could just lose Superfly and win the tournament. Forehead, like, like she could just drop to Mio. but yeah, I could see Kazuma being like a good challenger for either Mio or Mayu for that matter. So you might want to end the tournament with a win for her. So we'll see. But
Yeah,
sorry
she
for bringing
could
up
win the
Kazuma so
tournament. I
much.
agree. I agree.
Not win.
She could win.
Get the. God, you get what I was saying.
Okay. Well, that's all. I think I don't really have anything else to bring up. We've been going for over an hour,
Mhm.
so we've gone through everything, I believe, unless you guys have any loose ends that I forgot.
No, not really.
Not really.
All right, Dylan, nothing kicking around in your brain?
No, I feel like I've exerted a lot of thought into
Okay.
this one, and yeah, I mean, I'm excited for the tournament. It's a fun one because there is something obviously kicking around in my brain. It was I think somebody texted me about it 2 days ago. He was like, "Okay, I'm going to try to predict the Dream Star now. It should be easier than the 5-star because the 5-star has 32 fucking people in it."
Mhm.
And it was like, it is easier, but it's also not because it's a very intricately, like booked tournament with the blocks and how it's made. And that's why I think we got, over an hour worth of conversation out of it because I think there is, even though it's like Miku's winning, if it's not Miku, it might be Utami, might be Mayu, probably not. It's probably Miku by like a mile. Like, even though that is like a seemingly foregone conclusion for us, it still is a very interesting tournament in how the moving parts are going into it. I just realized like 2 days ago that Mad Dog wasn't in it, and I was a bit bummed because I was like, like, oh, like, like I feel like this is a moment for her, but she's not even in it. I think that's, funnily enough, that's like the one thing that like this tournament's lacking is a couple of the young wrestlers that didn't get in. I've been having a bad week, man. Don't be slapping my
Bro,
brain.
this field has been out for like a month and a half, and you're like,
No,
God damn! I just
it's because I
realized.
was watching. No, it's not that I just realized.
God.
I watched one of the Mario match, and I was like, God, like Mad Dog's so good. And then I
Oh
was
my
like, oh,
God!
she's not in the fucking
Man
tournament.
was
This
out.
sucks.
He was without Wi-Fi for a few days, and he said, "God, I have forgot what has happened to the world. I don't remember anything." But I mean, hey, shouts out. I do like. I do hate and I do like that last year the highlight of this company was the Twin Star belts, and now they're just non-existent. And so it's full on focus on the league. So
Yeah, they turned magenta and are like, okay, we're bad now, so you're not gonna want to book us that much. Bye. And now that was a half joke. They're fine. Yeah, that is a good point. That like a year ago, it's like, oh, we gotta take a break from tag stuff. That sucks. And this year, it's like, break. We ain't seen tag stuff in a minute.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
fun time. Yeah. So Xavier, do you want to do your plugs?
Yeah, man. Just follow me on Twitter, Xavierism, 3 eyes. Same thing over on Blue Sky, except for it's 2 eyes. Stardust Press
Do you have a
Podcast. Listen. Huh?
burner on Threads by any chance?
No, I don't, but because my coworkers keep pissing me off, I should look into it. But Stardust Press Podcast, listen to the most recent episode and the episode that I'll drop probably after this show goes up because I forgot to edit this past week because of work. So, I need to let the most recent episode get some time to breathe a little bit and just, stay tuned to my Twitter for all my other content needs. Like I said, I'm going to be doing the N1 series whenever that tournament kicks off. And then basically everything I have in mind will be on the back burner until that is over. But I do have stuff planned. So just be on the lookout for that.
All right, Dylan. I don't think you need to plug. I think everybody knows where to find you at this point.
Get at me on Twitter, XXIchiban. Number 21 on the mic, number 1 in your heart. Let's get out of here.
Yeah, we have great new art for the Stardom Quest.
Oh,
so
yeah, that comes. We're gonna start using that next week. This is the last episode of the season. Last
I
episode
see.
of this
Right.
season of Stardom Quest.
That's how that works, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't
Because
realize.
I didn't want to have the Dream Star tournament on the next. I wanted to have the 2 tournament previews before, so we start the art next week. It's fine. It's whatever. We'll talk about the art on the next episode.
I was gonna make a
and
joke,
we'll
but
talk
man,
about it a little bit.
whatever.
All right. Well, Dylan and I will be back again on Tuesday to review the first day of 5-Star Grand Prix action, and we will also review the Shinjuku Face show from Marigold and preview the first day of this very tournament. So, if you aren't already sick of us, stay tuned for that. But with that, it is time to close the show. So, if you want to stand, you may stand. If you want to sit, you may sit. Believe today, shine tomorrow. You decide what you believe in.
Shine forever, Stardom Quest Gold Dope Fashion.
You messed it up twice in 1 week. You are something else.
We've
guy.
done it 3 times. What am I supposed to do? I'm
Fashion.
tired.
Fashion,
Fashion.
Ijo.
Isho.